Hey everybody, it's Jack Gardner here. I'm not actually on the show this week. I just wanted to send out basically a little hey, guess what? Extra Life is coming up. It's actually coming up in like 2 weeks now. And I also it's on November 4th this year. So, yeah, pretty close. Better start gearing up. Head over to extra-life.org and sign up. And then play games and help kids out. So I wanted to throw that on there along with just a little, sorry that the episode is a little bit late this week. That's my bad. I was out of town and I just flew back in. So, and boy are my arms tired. Anyway, enough fun. Sorry that the episode is late and I really hope you enjoy it. Also, I'm 100% not sure exactly what happened to Daniel's audio, but basically just imagine he's in a scuba suit for the entire thing, because that's kind of what he sounds like. So, hope you enjoy this episode. And with that, I'll let Daniel take it away.
Hello and welcome to the Best Games Period. I'm Daniel Jones. I am not joined tonight by Jack Gardner or Jeremy Brown, but we have a very special guest, my good friend, Joseph Lopes.
Oh, thanks, Daniel. Thanks for bringing me on. I'm really happy to be here.
You're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
Tell the folks out there how we know each other.
We were neighbors.
'Cause I've talked about you on the show a bunch, and I talk about you to Jeremy and Jack, and Jeremy gets jealous all the time.
Aw, Jer.
But I don't think many people know how I know you.
Okay, so starting from the beginning,
Yeah.
let's see.
We were born.
We were brought upon this planet. I think I was hatched from a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
And
right.
and then we grew up in a small town, and we ended up being neighbors and basically being in the same school system. I think I was a grade above you.
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your brother was a grade below me.
Yeah.
And you two were 2 years apart.
Yeah,
right?
we were 2 years apart. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were always nice to each other, always enjoyed each other's company, and then life happened and we drifted apart. And then I think did we find each other again on Twitter and Facebook?
I think it was Facebook.
Yeah, it was Facebook,
Yeah.
and we just kind of started talking, and then we talked about video games and E3, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah.
It's not just for alt-right propaganda. Who knew?
Oh no, I'm gonna thumbs that up. Oh wait, maybe I'll give it a nice emoji, little smiley face.
Yeah. I always knew you were into video games because I would see you all the time in like GameStop and whatnot.
Haha.
Because you worked there.
Yes, I worked there. I was usually half in the bag, but that's okay. It was my second job. Actually, no. EB was one of my first jobs, Electronics Boutique, and then I came aboard GameStop in the Willimantic in the Eastbrook Mall.
Yes, right down the street from where I live right now.
Right down. Oh, you might hear some meowing because Sasha is upset that I am talking into a microphone and not looking at her.
Yeah, not paying her enough attention.
Yeah, so if you hear that and she gets on the mic, listeners at home, I apologize, but she wants to say hi.
Hi, Sasha. That's all right. We always have pets on the show. It happens.
Oh yeah, it happens. She does not want to go away from the microphone. That's okay, Sasha. You're welcome to join us.
So what's your history with video games? What makes you an expert? And because tonight's okay. Well, first, before we get into that, because that'll probably lead right into Doom. I have to explain what the Best Games Period is. I'm not very good at this. This is Jack's thing.
That's okay.
The Best Games Period, think of it as a Hall of Fame of video games, a canon of video games, as you will. And we, the three of us, Jeremy, Jack, and I, and whatever guests we have on, spend each episode talking about a specific game, or in this case, two games, which we'll get to. that we think are really great. And we debate whether or not they are one of the greatest, one of the best games, period. And whether they're fit for the Hall of Fame. So tonight we're going to be discussing Doom, 1993 original first-person shooter, the granddaddy of the FPS genre. Not the great granddaddy. That's
no.
3D.
That's right.
But we're going to be discussing that game as well as Doom 2016, its late predecessor. And we're going to be debating the two games, and one is going to come out the victor. Now, that does not mean that one of them, whichever one loses, will never be in the canon of best games, period. But it just means that right now, whichever one loses is going to have to wait till a later episode. So
basically put into a parking lot, if you will, a distant closet. Actually, not really a closet. I think of the
more like the warehouse in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, just in a box. It belongs in a museum, but it's being looked at by top men.
Top men. But tonight, Joe, you're going to be representing Doom 2016. And I'm going to be representing Doom 1993, the good guys. But before we get to that, let's go back to my question. What is your history with video games? Who are you, besides just my friend?
Oh, okay. I'm just a guy. I just happened to fall into this weird world of video games probably back in first grade. I got my NES. My grandfather had a computer, a old IBM PS2 386. I got my hands on a shareware copy of Doom. I got obsessed with it. My grandfather let me use his modem to play against friends who had the shareware copy of Doom. And from there, just kind of spiraled out of control. Worked for Electronics Boutique, worked for GameStop, worked for Turbine, out of Massachusetts, doing tech support, customer support, stress tests, that sort of stuff. And I love video games. I've always loved them. It's a passion, a hobby, and a great pursuit of mine, if you will.
For sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the abridged version of I don't even want to say expertise. I always feel like a student when it comes to just talking or playing video games or life in general. But I will say, hot damn, I love video games.
Having talked about video games with you a lot, I know that you're an expert. So,
oh well, thanks, Daniel.
If I'm an expert enough to host this show, you're an expert enough to call yourself an expert.
You are a 17 times expert. I am a one-time expert.
Yeah, okay. We'll see about that. We'll see who is more of the expert.
Who gets the sweet golden-crested painting mantle,
that's right,
so to speak, in the fabled marble halls of the best games, period.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to start our discussion about the Dooms by talking about the very beginning of each game. All right?
Okay.
So, I'm going to start with Doom 1.
Okay.
Right? All right. So, it starts off, I want to make sure I get all the details right, so I literally have a Let's Play in front of me. I will edit this shit out.
It's okay. I can tell you how it starts.
It's been a while since I played it. I played it last on the 360 in like 2008.
I need to get you in front of those emulators that I told you about. Or not emulators, but the wrappers for the Doom wads, like OpenGL Doom and Brutal Doom, and it's just I replayed Doom. I replay Doom 93 at least once every couple of years, just go through a couple of the episodes and a couple of the levels and the maps I like. But anyways, you should tell me how it starts.
So it starts basically, you just open into this this level that is on Mars, in this like facility.
This hangar.
Yeah, it's called a hangar.
Yep.
But you can't tell that just by looking at it. I mean, it's just a building.
Yeah, it's just
so you awaken basically as Doom Guy, and the first thing you encounter is a dude with a gun. You're in this room with like this big blue floor and columns, and then you have options. There's doors, there's a stairway that you can go up, there's some switches you can hit.
That's right.
And the first thing that really strikes you is just how fast your character moves.
Oh, yeah.
But this area, this first area is kind of open. I mean, there's a lot of open areas in the game. There's also a lot of very cramped areas.
Yeah.
So typically you will go down the hall and you will open this door, and there are these two guys in this like blue thing, and they have shotguns, and you shoot them. And that's kind of the first act of violence in Doom.
The first encounter, so to speak. Yeah, you move wicked fast, you run up the staircase, you grab the armor pack up top. Yep, and there's that switch, and then you go into that room, and that's where the two shotgun guys are just waiting for you. And depending on the difficulty, it's the shotgun guys plus a regular soldier. And I can tell you, when I was younger, I wanted to save my ammo for some reason, so I tried to punch them all to death. And
I would do that all the time.
Yeah, it would not work out for me until I got a little older and realized that, it doesn't matter. They drop ammo, so just go in there, guns a-blazing.
Right. Yeah, so the beginning is pretty iconic.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Hold on, let me retort that with just that opening riff where you're
the
just
music.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But that first level is extremely simple.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the game. I mean, the rest of the game, after the first few levels, things start to get real complicated.
Yeah.
But that first level is very simple.
Yep.
It is essentially a tutorial level, right?
Yep, that's exactly.
I mean, you don't even face anything stronger than. There is one.
Imp. There's the imp. Yep.
Yeah, there is one imp in the window.
It introduces you to explosive barrels.
Yep.
Yeah, like
it introduces you basically to all of the concepts of the game. It shows you how to move around and shoot. And I think when they developed it, they probably knew that a lot of people would be playing this game that had never played a first-person shooter before.
Yeah.
Because the only one prior was Wolfenstein 3D, and that was. What, am I wrong?
No. It was like Wolf 3D. You didn't have like layered objectives.
Right.
Like, I'm thinking this first level, you get from point A to point B and flip the switch to exit the level. The next level introduces you to the concept of keys.
Yes.
Introduces you to the concept of multiple floors, I want to say. Like, like going into lower areas, dim lit areas. And from then the next level...
Does the second level have a secret door?
I believe it does. I want to say there's I know the first level has a secret
area.
Yeah,
right?
In that dark area, there's a secret secret. The first level does have a secret that you literally have to sprint from one point to another to open a secret door. To in the hangar, when you look out that to the right window, there's this huge vista.
Yeah.
If you sprint fast enough in that first section across or flip a switch and sprint, you can get outside into this little pond area to get get again more armor, more ammo. But I just like that this episode 1, the shareware version that I had on disc, keeps every level it layered on, like the concept, there's enemies above you, and good news, you don't have to aim, it just kind of automatically hits them. In a couple levels it did that, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. The verticality was a big part of the later levels, especially, I think. I know that in Doom 2, verticality was
huge,
used a lot more, even though you still couldn't look up and down.
But there'd still be enemies up there in little windows that you're just like, oh, where are you? Okay, you're there. I'm going to hold control down a little bit, and maybe I'll shoot you.
It could be disorienting a little bit.
Yeah.
It still is a little bit. But it's not too bad. I mean, Doom. The thing about the original Doom is that if it didn't handle and play like better,
it
wouldn't have been as popular as it was.
Oh yeah, it was smooth. Even I'll say this: I had to go into low detail mode on my computer and drop the window size down, but once you had that, it was completely smooth. It was completely playable. You were sprinting from point A to point B and hoping that you had enough health or didn't run into a room where you got hosed.
And I mean, the thing about it is, like, they made conscious decisions to increase your move speed and increase the variety of the enemies, increase the amount of secrets. I don't remember if Wolfenstein 3D had key cards.
No, it just had a key.
I didn't think so.
It just had a key that you'd get.
Oh yeah, it had that. But they made like conscious improvements over the formula of Wolf 3D. That they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah,
like I think there's a misconception about Doom that id Software just kind of lucked into it, and I do think that some people think that.
I think this was a labor of intense crafting. Like, this wasn't just something that was shelled together. If you look at the extensive documentaries, books, media that's out there about...
Read Masters of Doom.
Masters of Doom.
Excellent.
It is a great read. And even some of the documentary... I'm trying to remember the one where they were they showed the team just hard at work coming up with the music for certain levels, and obviously they're comparing to like 90s hits, like, you know, Nine Inch Nails had like a hole, and Alice in Chains, but like each level had a different kind of theme for the music, and I remember some levels you just want to blitz through, and others you just want to slow down because of the music, because of the tempo, because of the lighting, because of the feel of the levels. And you don't get that with some, you know, jabronis stuffing a game together in 1993. You get it from people who have been working at this for a long time and come together and, you know, admittingly, the 2016 Doom, like, the story was kind of thrown together at the last minute, but granted, Doom 93 doesn't have much of a story, but but the entire gameplay experience is like a zesty ham sandwich.
That's a good... Are ham sandwiches zesty?
Yeah, you just have a little mustard on it, and
I guess, yeah.
A little pepper, some cheese, and, you know, it doesn't have to be
mustard.
Ham. Oh yeah, a little honey mustard.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, now I'm hungry.
All right, so yeah, I think we're touching on what made Doom so good. It's more than just the first popular first-person shooter. It really, and it's more than just the gore and violence. It was just an incredibly well-designed game, and the way every level was laid out made it more than just, run around and shoot things. You had to think about where you were going and how to get where you needed to go. There were tons of secrets, and they put the secrets in places where you could see them. They designed the levels so that you could see a secret, but you didn't know how to get there. And you had to figure out how to get there. And if you couldn't figure it out, it made you want to replay the level. Like, the replayability of those levels is exceptional.
Yeah.
So it's just a really well-made game. And, you talked about how they layer on all the concepts as you go. And I don't think people think about that too much, because you're just having too much fun just shooting demons in the face.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point. Like, they don't want you to necessarily think about how they designed everything. They just want you to have fun. And it reminds me of Super Mario Bros. A lot in that way. In that first level really just introduces you to the concepts. And because at the time it was such a foreign concept to be moving around in this 3D space looking at a gun, just like Mario was a pretty foreign concept to most people when it came out. The moving the character from left to right and having the freedom of movement that Mario had. It was just they had to introduce players to how this thing works, and they did it without any kind of real tutorial. They just designed a level that was fun to play and taught you how to move.
Right, like you were saying in Mario Brothers, the first level you're moving from left to right. The second level you're down below and exploring an entire new world. The third level you're dealing with water, just like that. And
I told you people he's an expert.
Come on! I told you you're a 19-time expert. Every time I say that, it's going to go up by 2. But going back to Doom, the interesting thing about it for me was there was that I had the shareware copy, which I paid money for at Babbage's, because they're a bunch of savages and charged me $8 for 2 floppy disks so I could play Doom. And at the end of it, encouraged you to share with friends. I had friends who already had purchased the full copy of Doom.
The full.
Yeah. And I didn't get to play the full copy of Doom until the invention of CD-ROM technology with the Ultimate Doom, where they released a new episode, Thy Flesh Consumed. Or I think that's what it was. Anyways, it was interesting going over to my friend's house, and he's just like, "Oh, dude, watch what I can do." And he's showing me episode 2, and he's strafing around just like imps, and the shotgunners shoot the imps. And at this point, I didn't know that was a thing that you could do. And then the shotgunners start shooting the imps start fighting the shotgunners, and he's over collecting ammunition and health for the next bout. I'm like, they can do that? And he's like, dude, you didn't discover that? So I went back and played episode 1 because that's what I had. And I found I didn't know that was a thing. And that AI portion blew my mind, that I'm just like, okay, I can just sneak over here. The shotgunner's going to shoot the soldier. Okay, now they're getting into a battle. There's a demon in the middle of it, and a pinky demon, and he's getting shot at. Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah. That's so good.
It's so good. It makes you think ahead in terms of what your tactical advantage is, whether it's you're just poking around a corner and strafing and moving super quick, or you're trying to pull enemies out and get them into the middle of a huge firefight.
And they mix up the enemies too. So you'll face different types of enemies all within the same fight, and you have to learn how to manage them. You know, you have to dodge the imps' fireballs while maybe there's one of the what's the ones that charge you?
Oh, the demons, the pink demons, or the
Okay.
There's the pink demons will charge you and start eating you.
Yeah.
Yeah, pinkies.
Yeah. So like you just have to manage all these different varieties of enemies, using whatever weapons you have at the moment, and it's really well made.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, we can't deny that Doom is a well made game, but let's talk about Doom 2016.
Let's talk about Doom 2016. What do you
Tell
want?
me about the beginning of Doom 2016, because it does have a pretty phenomenal, badass opening.
Oh, so you wake up from your cold tomb. You see a bunch of weird zombies surrounding you, and you're naked. You're naked on this weird stone tomb. You might have shrinkage. Who knows? Maybe it's warm in there. Maybe there's some room temperature effects going on.
Doom guy doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, Doom guy don't give a shit. The Doom Slayer don't give a shit. He's realizes he's chained down. He's without a weapon, and this demon comes walking towards him. He grabs it by its weird eye mouth thing and crushes its skull on the edge of a table. And you just basically jump up, grab a pistol, and from there it's just like, shoot these guys. Okay, keep moving. And you find a little holograph of some people worshiping you and a bad guy character in the distance looking on menacingly in this hologram, and then you find your armor, the Doomslayer armor, in the next room, and it's like a ritual where you put it on. There's that message that comes over the loudspeaker from that guy Samuel Hayden, the bad guy in this story, saying, you know, we knew the cost of removing this demon energy from the earth, but it was worth it. We can assure you it's worth it. And Doomslayer ain't having none of that. He punches the damn zombie, the demonic invasion sign, and then sees while the scientist is explaining to him when he gets on that elevator, is saying, I assure you it's all worth it. He just punches the screen, and it just comes up, it's just like Doom, and it's like, that's the game you're getting into. You are
basically talking to a guy on the phone, and rather than hang up,
just punches
in the middle of the guy's speech, he just destroys the phone.
Yeah, he just crushes the phone with his bare damn hands, and it establishes a couple of things. You don't listen to reason because you're the Doomslayer. You don't give a shit because you're the Doomslayer, and most importantly, you have some demons to kill because you're the Doomslayer.
That's right.
Yeah, and in this little introduction, it explained that the Doomslayer has woken up from the previous Doom game, which could be Doom 93, Doom 92, Doom 2 rather, Doom 3 question mark, but. Yeah, definitely not the Doom 3. I think they kind of skipped over that. It's meant to be like the end of Doom 2, you were sealed, and that was that.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Makes the most sense. Like, the demons sealed him away because if you... The great thing about the story of Doom 2016 is it exists, but it's not right in your face. Like the demonic voice that greets you when you start the game, like tells the story through those through the little trials. I want to say, just the little. Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of what they are.
I don't
remember.
Trials works.
Yeah, Trials works. Rune trials.
Right.
Rune trials.
Rune trials.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And it basically tells of a relenting demonic slayer who stops at nothing to destroy those who want to suffer or want to cause suffering. And the way this demonic voice tells you it, you're just like, this guy, if you're late serving him a cheeseburger, he's going to ruin the entire restaurant. We should, like, that's the kind of guy the Doomslayer is.
That's right. Yeah, that's a pretty good way of describing it.
Yeah, and then once you get done with the elevator ride, you come out, you're greeted to Mars, and you're greeted with a combat area. Basically, you go into this kind of valley connecting you into a building where it leads you into a little combat zone, and it introduces you a little bit more to Doom's 2016's frenetic, in the words of the ID team, or ID team, push forward combat, where you're just...
To be fair, there was one room before you got on the elevator.
Oh yeah, that was the little, the connecting... the connecting tunnel where there's the demons, and you're just shooting that, not the demons, but the weak demons, and it's kind of showing you how to use the pistol. And
yeah, basically, again, is a tutorial without being a tutorial. It's a very simple one little room with two levels to it, and they just flood the room with a bunch of the little imps.
Yeah, imps. And what do they teach you to do in that room? That's important.
Move.
Yes. Keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Keep moving. Keep firing. Keep hitting. And then the glory kills. It teaches you how to use those sweet, sweet glory kills.
Yep.
So when you played it and you first did this glory kill, how did it make you feel?
It's a power fantasy, so it made me feel powerful.
Yeah, and it like that's exactly how I felt. Like, even like I was saying, when you're getting up out of the Doom Slayer coffin, like it's basically, hey, good news. This is you are all powerful, you are all badass. And that first time I did a glory kill, I kind of was squeamish because it was just like Doomslayer grabs the guy's arm and just crushes his face into the ground. Like, I think I jumped on top of the guy or something. And
it's just so satisfying.
It's so satisfying. Yeah, I was a little squeamish at first, but once you realize you can do it from almost any angle, and it's like it can be almost a different animation every time, or if you're like on a wall, it's a different animation.
Like we were talking about the verticality of the first two games.
Yeah.
Like 2016 is incredibly vertical. Like you can, they had to let you do the glory kills from any position because it's such a vertical game. You can jump from above and glory kill some dudes, or you can be below them and jump up onto the platform they're on and just kind of like warp to them and glory kill them. Like it's really well done.
Oh,
the glory kills.
They're
incredibly satisfying.
They're so satisfying, and it reminded me of something like when you're above somebody, and I just, at this point, like if it's like an imp or something, I pull out just a pistol and I'll just put them in the groggy glory kill state, and you just fall like 2 stories onto this poor demon as the Doomslayer and just basically crush them into the ground, which brings up another point that the two games share: no falling damage.
No.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. I hate when
falling damage isn't fun.
No, it isn't. I know that there are meant to be rules in games, but it kind of pulls me out if if I fall 7 feet and suddenly like I lose a quarter of my health. No, Doomslayer doesn't care. He falls. It literally says impact compensation at the top of the screen, and then you just pop up and can sprint full speed to your next bad guy to take down.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that they nailed about the 2016 Doom is the speed.
And
they replicated. They understood important speed was to the formula.
Yeah, moving from either one combat situation to another or one bad guy to another.
Right.
You just...
Oh my god, chaining glory kills.
Chaining glory kills, and never mind that, as you... Something separate I'll talk about later, the upgrade system in the game where you can unlock those runes, and your glory kills, the more you do, the faster you move.
Yeah.
You just quickly go through this glory kill and get health and ammo back, and you're immediately to the next zombie or demon or what have you, just taking them out. Or, in my case, turning around and blowing up a barrel and exploding. I've done that a couple times in Doom 2016 just because of how quick and frenetic you move. Like, I'll just land and I won't look forward. I'll just think it's a bad guy and I'll blow up the barrel in my face and die. I've done that a couple times.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I think one thing they might have even done better than the first Doom, and maybe it's just, I think a lot of the things, we'll get into this because I think we got to start talking about what we like better about each game. I think one of the things that you could say is about Doom 2016 benefits from 20 some odd years of game design and development.
After, I was going to say, iterating off of almost 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 years, 1993 to 2016. That's almost 24 years.
That's what I was going to say. Death, you're not afraid of death.
Yes.
In Doom 2016 at all. Like, dying is just, you just restart and you go through it again because it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So who cares? And two, because you usually know that, like, if you died, it was typically your fault, and you can do better.
Such as the barrels in the face.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't mind dying because it's gonna happen, and because it's just so much fun to actually play.
Yeah.
I think they designed it that way.
And that's one thing that frustrated me about Doom 1993. You always had the Doom guy's face in front of you, showing you either what peril you're in or how, how okay you're doing. And in a moment's notice, in Doom 2016, if I'm near death, I can come back pretty quick from death. In Doom 1993, I got 25% health, I have 3% armor, I have 35 bullets, I have a chain gun, and maybe 2 rockets. In the next room is an imp, a baron from hell, and what am I going to do?
Right.
You basically quick save or go back to a previous save and see if you have more ammo to make it into that room. Whereas Doom 2016, you can literally charge in, have one charge on your chainsaw, which, oh my god, we have to talk. We have to talk about the weapons between the two games in a second.
Yeah.
But you can just march in, chainsaw somebody, and dominate an entire room of demons. Whereas 1993 Doom, you had an advantage in terms of your speed, but in terms of how much damage you could do to somebody else based off your ammo, you were somewhat limited.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't designed to not be forgiving, but it wasn't designed to kind of encourage you to always push forward no matter what. Like, a lot of times, if you got to a certain point in Doom 1, you would start to maybe look around for ammo that maybe you hadn't picked up or whatever because you really needed it. Doom 2016, you always knew that if the next room you were going to have some ammo, or you were going to have some little imps that you could chainsaw and get some ammo from, or whatever.
Right.
Or some health. whatever you needed. And that's I really think that a lot of what makes 2016 so good is because they had the benefit of time, and just 25 more years of first person shooter design knowledge and expertise. So why I gave you a choice though,
yeah,
before this episode.
Oh yes.
I said we're gonna discuss Doom 93 and Doom 2016. Which one do you think will be in the best games period, and which one do you want to fight for? And you said 2016 pretty much without hesitation.
Yes.
So why?
It was my game of 2016 period. It is a game that I continuously go back to, just even for an hour, like a week. I kept my head so far down away from anything about Doom, like development wise, like story wise. I tried to stay away from it because, in my mind, like before Doom 2016, everything for Doom just kind of ended with Doom 2. I played Doom 3 and thought it was hot trash and was disappointed and just said, you know what, I'm good. Then I got Doom 2016 for my PC. Just was psyched about it. I mean, I saw that little teaser video with the glory kills and the weapons, and I didn't blow through it in a weekend, but I just every time I would approach a new level or section of the game, there was something that would make me jump out of my seat and go, yeah, that's it. That's just awesome. That is badass. I need to tell somebody about this right now. And I tell somebody about it, and they'd say, oh, so it's like the old game. I'd be like, kind of, but not really. It's like this beautiful metamorphosis. It's like they took the spirit of Doom 1993, jammed it into a pod, put a bunch of heavy drop tune metal riffs in there, a new chainsaw, some pixie dust, a bunch of rage, and subsequently you got this masterpiece. Almost, do you want masterpiece? I'll say masterpiece.
Say masterpiece.
Yeah, I'll say masterpiece.
It's the best game period.
It is the best game period. It's a damn masterpiece. From the design of just the beginning, which I just, it's so memorable to me.
Yeah.
Where I completely forgot an entire section of the corridor, but that's okay, because I'm just thinking of the Doomslayer punching just everything in sight. That intercom, when he has to interact with the Argent energy collectors, he doesn't you're not tapping X or anything like that to detach it. He just literally just drops one huge foot onto it and breaks a reactor. He doesn't, there's no finesse about him or this character. It is a bulldozer taking everything straight up to hell. And go ahead.
He actually is a character.
Yeah.
Doom Guy is a silent protagonist, but he is absolutely a character. His character is displayed through his little tiny actions.
Yeah.
Throughout the game, and just the way that he does everything. And it's things that you're controlling, it's things that you're doing, but it's just the swagger with which he does them. Like
when he picks up any weapon, first time you pick up any weapon, I'm just like, oh, like the way he
looks at it,
brandishes it, like the chainsaw, he just looks down at it, he's like, I'm gonna have some fun with this. And it's even reflected in one of the lines from again Samuel Hayden. He's like, oh yes, I forgot your affinity for guns. Every time he picks up a new weapon, later on in the game you get the BFG, he picks that up, and you could hear him just chuckling to himself. In the same way, when you pick up a awesome weapon in Wolfenstein 3D or the original Doom 93, where you see that big smile on the Doom guy's face and the little avatar, you can picture the Doom Slayer just sitting there, just yeah, or gets a new mod for a weapon, just slamming it onto it, just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ruin a demon's day.
He is the embodiment of your feelings when you play the game.
Yes,
as the player, like
the entire situation on this Mars planet is screwed up. This is a mess. I know this is somebody else's dishwashing liquid, but I'm gonna go ahead and jam it down somebody's throat. That's the entire awesome premise of that character.
And when he smashes that intercom, it's basically saying to you, the player, like, yeah, I know you don't really care about the story, so I'm just going to give you as much as you need, and then we're going to move on, because fuck the story.
Yeah, because fuck the story, because you got a codex. You can go ahead, you can look at that, you can read it, but honestly, you want to get over there, and you want to take this rocket launcher and jam it up a demon's ass. You want that.
Exactly. Right.
Where, to me, this masterpiece, this entire single-player experience, because I hate to say it, the multiplayer didn't keep me. But this single player story, or even just the experience of just going into the combat arenas after you beat the game and going into the arcade mode and just using different weapons and different skills that you've unlocked.
Snap map, brother.
Snap map, brother. It's the wave of the future. Look at this. You just gotta rotate this room around, just bam, snap it into place.
Hey, some people did some really cool stuff with Snap Map.
I will completely agree with that. I still can't believe that they did that, but God bless that guy, because there were some cool things that people did with the Snap Map, and I'm sure maybe there's a community around that multiplayer? Question mark?
There might be. I haven't looked into it, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, every time
It's probably more active than Lawbreakers.
Oh, God. Oh, burn.
You like Lawbreakers.
I did.
Just as an aside.
Just as an aside, I like that game. It was fun. But it was fun. It was like a vanilla milkshake or a chocolate milkshake. It's good. But once you're done with the milkshake, there's nothing else. Yeah, question mark? It just didn't have any lasting appeal for me. Like, I really liked the characters and the skills that they had, but beyond that, like, I kind of fell off the wagon on that because there weren't a lot of people playing it on PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is sad. Cliffy B, nice guy.
He is.
Yeah, shorter than I expected, but, whatever.
He is super short. Yeah,
I did.
But he is a nice guy. Have you talked to him before?
Yes. When I went to E3, he was at, remember this one? Army of Two, the 40th day or something like that?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, so he...
how could I forget?
Trust me, I forgot. The only thing I remember is I went in to sit in a little EA presser on it, and who sits in front of me? Cliff Bleszinski. And I'm like, hey, man, good to see you. And he's just like, oh, yeah, great to be here. Gotta support these guys. And he literally got up 5 minutes later during the demo, turned around, gave a big thumbs up to the two guys, and walked out. And I'm just like, all right, that was Cliff Bleszinski.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I met him on an escalator in PAX East.
Oh, snap.
PAX East. Yeah. We went down the escalator together when we were talking about. He asked me what games I had seen at the show that looked interesting, and shook his hand and was, just like told. I can't remember what I told him. I think I said Bastion because I was super into Bastion at the time. I that was the first time I had seen it. I thought it looked cool.
It was Bastion, another game that I could rattle on about. But as an aside, do you know what I really liked about Bastion?
What?
The music.
Yeah.
Do you want really?
I own a signed copy of that soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I did not know that. Oh,
yeah.
Such a good soundtrack. Going on that, Doom 2016 soundtrack.
Yes.
Oh, I still listen to that on a regular basis, just shuffling through it and just remembering bits of games that I play. I'm weird. I don't know what it is. Like, I listened to the Bastion soundtrack completely before playing the game, and I loved it. And with Doom, I did the same. I kind of did the same thing. I started playing Doom, then I listened to the soundtrack. And Mick Gordon, how he designed that soundtrack, where he would play segments of the game with one hand and would be tapping the beats per minute of like the frenetic action with another into his phone, and would design music around that, around the combat systems. It's just it's almost a rhythm game. Yeah, because at certain points, like you have that rhythm where you're jumping down from one point, going to the gore nest, tearing out that heart out of the gore nest, concentrating your fire on a baron from hell who's charging at you while throwing a grenade at an imp, and then jumping off another platform to crush another imp with a glory kill. And meanwhile, the music's just, like just keeping in rhythm with you, how intense or non-intense the action is around you. Unlike the Doom 1993 soundtrack, which unfortunately was limited by, the constraints at the time.
Yeah.
But this just, when you're in the mellow sections of Doom, it's nice and calm and something's coming up. But when you're in the action sections of Doom 2016, it's like somebody just firing up I don't know how to describe it. A beautiful cacophony of attacks on guitar and synthesizers. It brings a tear to my eye every time.
It's pretty exceptional.
It's
pretty great.
Do you have any tracks off the top of your head that you liked off of it, or
no?
I
can't think of any off the top of my head. I just know it's perfect for that game. I don't know. I can't think of it.
I can think of one right now.
All right, tell me.
The BFG division, where you're going through the BFG level. That was one of my favorite songs. I mean, of course, you have the
whole sequence.
Yeah, that entire sequence is pretty freaking great. And again, ties in the one thing that segment does. It ties into the end of the game very nicely that I don't want to spoil about. I mean, should I spoil?
Yeah, it's a young enough game.
Yeah,
we're going to try not to spoil it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's a year out. I don't want to spoil it, but I will say, oh man, the BFG is such a great gun.
It is, and it was in the first game as well.
Yeah, it was. Joe. Not in the shareware version, though.
Oh, explain.
So, episode 1, you had all the weapons. If you had the shareware version, you could get all the weapons up to the rocket launcher. So that would be number 5 on your keyboard. Once you got paid for the rest of the game, you get the plasma rifle and the BFG. I think you could get the chainsaw in the shareware version. Yeah, you could get the chainsaw in the shareware version. Because that was available in like level 3 or 4 in a secret area where you drop a pedestal down.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to use the BFG or the plasma gun until I got the final Doom. Or actually, no, until I went to my friend's house who had the full version, and we did deathmatch, and I got the plasma rifle and subsequently got my butt kicked.
Huh.
Yeah, we ran an IPX SPX, an old networking cable all the way from one computer to another, and played Doom that way.
Nice.
Yeah, good memory.
So, the thing that I want to touch on, is that I think you're right that Doom 2016 is a better game.
I got a butt coming from you. Let's hear it.
You do.
Okay. Let's hear this butt.
But that's not the only criteria that we judge a best games period on this show.
Okay.
Another part of the criteria is importance and influence. And I think Doom is a really great game. It's an amazing game. It's up with some of the best games. And I do think that Doom 2016 improves on it and updates it pretty much in every way possible. So in that way, it is a better game. But I think Doom's OG Doom, the influence that game has had, is what really puts it on over the top for me. 2016 Doom was, I mean, it's early.
Yeah,
still,
it's
to say how much influence it has had, but I don't see it being as influential as the original. So, I mean, how important do you think that is to the game's place
and
in the hall? Great games?
Like, I'm looking at the marble floors right now, and I have to look down at my feet because Doom 2016, like, it's a young game. Like, they're putting it on the Switch, which I'm going to get because I need to see how that looks. Yeah. And it still blows my mind that they're putting it.
I just want to be able to play it wherever I can.
Yeah.
Wherever I am. You know?
That's exactly it. I want to play it wherever I can. But to the respect of Doom 1993,
the toilet.
I want to poop and do glory kills. My poop is a glory kill.
Can confirm.
Can't confirm it is a glory kill.
It's
pretty bad. It's pretty terrible. I listen. I have issues, but I can't argue Doom 1993's legacy. Like for me, I've seen the influence of Doom. Doom clones was a conventional word being thrown around. GamePro, PC Mag, computer.
Pretty much until Half-Life.
Yeah, until Half-Life. Half-Life took over at that point because it changed the game in terms of scripted sequences, which, hey, guess what has that? Doom 2016 and most other shooters after that.
But Doom had these Doom clones because to be really frank, like, these first-person shooters, early first-person shooters, all, until Half-Life, really, they all just followed this exact formula that Doom had laid out. And that, to be fair, like, Wolfenstein had kind of laid out a little bit prior to it as well. Quake, the subsequent games developed by id in Quake and Quake 2 and Doom 2, Nukem, Dark Forces, Hexen, these games were Doom clones. I mean, it's pretty fair. It's a pretty fair nomenclature.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't you say?
Oh no, completely. Like, even thinking back on Duke, like, the verticality was straight. Like, the multiple tier levels, the frenetic combat. Doom iterated. Doom itself had what they called, like, a head bob. With the head bob, your weapon went swayed across the screen, and multiple games had that after it. The lighting details, where you had flickering lights in certain levels after that. Certain engines, wanted to take that and adapt it into their own. even Duke 3D, went ahead and poked fun at the Doom guy at some level, at some secret, giving it like a little homage to Doom. I mean, shooters owe a lot to Doom 93.
And to be clear, like Half-Life also owes a lot to Doom as well.
Yeah.
In its own way, it was a Doom clone. It just had a lot more trappings on top of that.
Right, and it was also like the next generation of video game technology, the foray into 3D and 3D acceleration. But Doom, on its own, the technical achievement, the fact that you had a single player and multiplayer experience in one game that you could play over phone lines, college campuses over Ethernet and networking. You had active communities of people that were making maps for it, and probably still are making maps for the original Doom 1993. And I can't argue, like, Doom 2016, it stands very tall, but comparing it to Doom 93's legacy, Doom 93 is the great granddad, and Doom 2016 is the great grandson. If that math works.
I'm gonna maybe piss you off here.
Go ahead.
But I gotta say it.
Well said.
Thanks. OG Doom is like, it's like a Bob Dylan song or like a Tom Waits song. It's like fucking amazing songwriting. It's just an incredible song.
Yes. And, the piano has been drinking is a good song.
But maybe the singer's just kind of like, it's an acquired taste, right? Somebody else comes along and they do this really well polished, really just well made cover of that song that still captures the essence and beauty of it. And that's Doom 2016.
You're not upsetting me with that. You're making me go, okay, so this is Radiohead's Creep covered by let's see, who does a good cover of Creep?
Everybody has done a cover of Creep.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody has done a cover of Creep. So maybe, and that's also probably not a good song to compare Doom 1993 to.
Hey, they came out the same year.
Yeah, they did. Oh God, we're so old. You can't. Doom 2016 is a huge step forward, a huge iteration, but it's one of those things. It's like a Bob Seger cover band doing Against the Wind, and giving it everything they got. But then you find out it's not a Bob Seger cover band. It's actually Bob Seger. That's the thing with Doom 2016. It just it makes me want to go back, and I don't know how else to say it, but I'm going to say it.
Okay, say it.
Okay. When you make a hamburger, you have the core ingredients.
A zesty hamburger.
Yeah, a zesty hamburger. And that's what Doom 2016 is. Like, it's my damn fine, zesty cheeseburger. And Doom 1993 is a solid. It's a good hamburger. It's like this. It's the core. It's the meat and potatoes. To Doom 2016's 5-course meal.
Right.
And I have a hard time. I have a hard time arguing against Doom 1993 because I have that little soft spot in my heart, even as I think right now of the memories that I have attached to it. I can recite to you the cheat codes that I used. IDKFA, IDDQD, IDSPI, SPOPD. Yeah.
Joe is glitching out.
Wait.
Sorry, everybody. We're going to have to end the show early. He's having a stroke.
I'm sorry. I'm remembering everything. I smell bacon. I feel bad arguing for Doom 2016. I do. But
you should.
Damn it, Dan. When I go back and I play Doom 1993, I can appreciate everything. I can appreciate the work that went into it. I can appreciate how they created their sprite-based characters, how they had clay models for their bosses. And you look at that and you go, wow, that's great. That's great character design. That's everything. And then Doom 2016 with the Doomslayer comes in, kicks the door open, and says, you should just play my game. You should just play my game right now and take a look at these bad guys and tear the jaw off of an imp. It's going to feel so satisfying.
Can you imagine if you had seen Doom 2016 in 1993?
I don't know if
future you just busted through like a portal and came out and said, plopped a 2016 version of Doom in your face.
Plopped a Nintendo Switch in my face.
Do this, you motherfucker.
Yeah, do this and do those glory kills. Yeah, you like that, don't you? You're not going to see that again for another 24 years. See you later. Boo! Out like that. I mean, if you put them side to side, like you had one TV with an Xbox and Doom 1993. And then you had Doom 2016 on another TV. And you knew...
There are YouTube videos of this, by the way.
Of just side-by-sides? Just
side-by-side comparisons of the two.
Every bit in Doom 1993 feels like it was assembled by a small team doing something they love, and Doom 2016 feels like a team that was put together to give something that they love a very special treatment, kind of like putting a nice coat of paint on an aging car, but instead they didn't just put paint on the car. They dropped a new engine in, they put a new chassis on that bad boy, and it's doing donuts in the parking lot currently, and Doom Guy's giving your neighbor the bird. I feel bad saying Doom 1993 is a gingerbread cookie compared to Doom 2016's cake in terms of gameplay. In terms of just pure gameplay, in terms of just 24 years of technology advancing and the feedback you get from the gameplay loop. And then you go back to Doom 1993's gingerbread cookie and you have a HUD that gives you like, okay, yeah, I know I'm down to 75% health, and yeah, I know I have only these key cards. In the way that there were some frustrating things I felt when I played Doom 1993, like exploring and finding key cards.
Yeah,
like
very frustrating.
Very frustrating. Doom 2016, like you have that sense of like actual verticality, like climbing up to an area which you are guided to, because let's face it, game design is meant to get you from point A to point B now, rather than making you walk through hell to get a key card. Doom 2016 is basically waving, pointing a flare and telling you, hey, go up there and get this key card. Doom 1993 is like, yeah, there's a dark hallway down there. There's this underground cavern down here, and there's this crushing pit of despair over here. Which way do you want to go to get your key card?
Yeah.
And there's some risk reward to exploring in Doom 93, whereas in Doom 2016, you know that there's a definite reward for exploring. You get a weapons upgrade, which, Doom 1993, I can tell you, using the shareware version, I got a little bored with my selection of weapons. I wish I had the plasma rifle and the BFG.
I gotta say, I don't really like the plasma rifle in 2016.
Yeah, no,
it's my least favorite weapon in that game.
If you get the heat, the burst mode, like the vent mode, the heat vent mode, it literally becomes like a ridiculous shotgun blast, taking out like a wave of enemies in front of you. But I agree, it's not really a great weapon. I just stick with the rocket launcher, chain gun, shotgun.
Shotgun.
Yeah, that is a good shotgun.
Yeah,
that is a very good shotgun. The upgrade system continues to enhance your gameplay experience in Doom 2016.
Yeah, that's something that the OG Doom does not have at all.
Yeah, and I mean, it again
doesn't necessarily need it.
No, it doesn't necessarily need it. And again, looking back, you sit there and go, is it a sign of the times? Is it a limit of technology? Could they have had a few more weapons in there or a little more weapon variety? I mean, again, the core Doom is meat and potatoes, shotgun and minigun, but I the weapons in that left me wanting more. And
I think it was all the thing about the original Doom is that everything in that game was engineered to be a counterpoint to something else. So every weapon was a counterpoint to some enemy. Certain enemies were very, you wanted to use the shotgun. Other enemies, you wanted to use the rocket launcher.
Right.
Other enemies, you'd want to use the pistol or the machine gun. Everything was designed around that balance. And I think that's probably why they didn't have more weapons.
Okay.
Was because they didn't have more enemies. They had a core set of enemies. They had 7 varieties of enemies, and I think 7 weapons.
Yeah,
8 weapons.
So we got the soldier, shotgunner, imp, demon, Keiko demon, Baron from Hell, and then you had one more, the angry skull that likes to ram you.
Yes.
Screaming cool. And then, so each one,
and then the invisible...
the invisible pinky. The invisible pinky. So it's like each weapon is meant to, like you said, for each combat situation. But in Doom 2016, depending what situation you're in, you can use each weapon to your advantage, like having those upgrades and having those mods. Like, I can use my shotgun as a rocket launcher if I need to.
Can I tell you what I think was my biggest complaint about 2016?
Yeah.
Doom?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be honest, it's the same. I could say exactly the same complaint about the original. Is that I found it to be very repetitive.
Yes.
There's a formula to that game. You enter a room, you shoot a bunch of demons, you move on. You explore a little bit, enter another room, shoot a bunch of demons, move on. And that cycle of entering the room, shooting a bunch of demons, getting the, pulling out the thing out of the thing.
Or smashing the thing with the thing, or...
Smashing the blob of hell.
The gore nest. The gore nest.
Gore nest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The blob of hate. The red-green morose thingy.
And the room getting flooded with demons and you having to clear it. as fun as that cycle was, and it was fun enough to get me through most of the game past the BFG, like I got pretty tired of it after a while.
I could see that. Like it's the formula is that of, it seems like, I don't want to say most like some modern shooters now, it's just you go into the room, you have your combat situation, there's a noise, you move on. It's been like that since Gears of War almost, where you come in, you have your noise, you kill a bunch of dudes, and then it's just like, oh, your noise is off. Okay, move on to the next location.
I guess it just wasn't hidden as well.
No, it was very much out there. It was right there.
Yeah, and that was purposeful.
Yeah, like that gore nest, like you knew what you were getting into when you walked into the room. Whereas, man, I'm gonna make an argument for Doom 93. You walk into a situation and there's no start or no finish to the combat. There's no noise. You're just like, okay.
Right.
In there's a room with a bunch of shotgunners. There's a bunch of Keiko demons up there. There's this, there's that. How do I want to approach this?
And you quickly feel overwhelmed.
Yes, you feel very quickly overwhelmed. And there's that sense of doom that overwhelms you. And I think that's in 2016, like, I think maybe that's what I needed with Doom 2016. I needed to walk into this room and I needed that power trip. I needed that fantasy of, I need to crush every single demon in this room and dominate. Whereas, playing on a keyboard when I was a kid, I just save before I walk into the room, get massacred, and then figure out how I can go about that without either dying or without expending all my ammo. And then once I'm done with that, I would save with my 12% health and try to get all the little armor shards and health shards that I could to approach the next, situation, whether it's getting a key card in the middle of a room that has pits that are red and going to kill me, or have toxic waste in the middle of the room, or what's that? There's some weird one where you have to hit a pedestal to open a door. Trying to remember. Yeah. There were a couple of weird situations in that, but it never felt stale. It felt like each level was crafted to be different and teach you kind of a new experience on how to move through and negotiate the enemies of Doom 93. Damn, Doom 93, you got me again.
On that note,
we
should start to wrap up.
Yeah, I agree.
So, it's late, and I feel bad for keeping you up so late.
Oh, don't worry about it. This is a pure pleasure, Daniel. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Good.
Well, so when it comes down to brass tacks, you got to make a choice, and we've both argued one way or the other, but now that we're actually making the decision, where do you fall? 2016 or 93? Which one do you choose?
I'm getting a little anxious here. Can I say just I know I've been very long-winded and passionate.
You're very passionate. That's good. That's why I wanted you to talk about it.
I have so much nostalgia for Doom 1993. I like when we hang out sometime, I'm going to basically jam the modern wrappers or emulator version of Doom, Brutal Doom, OpenGL Doom, and just show you that on a controller, and you're probably going to want to play through Doom again, because what I did this week is I went and tried it, and I went, hot damn, I want to play Doom again. 1993. Yeah. And then I started playing Doom 2016 just before we went on. And your last argument, it really rung home with me as I was playing it. I'm like, oh, another gore nest. And I started thinking about it. And the Shadow Doom 1993 casts is huge. it eclipses, like, Doom 2016 is going to be my game of the year. But I think Doom 1993, because of A, the nostalgia I have, B, the love for that game, the fact that it brought me many friendships, and I just like, man, that game made me read there was a book put out about Doom where they had, like, the Doom Marine actually had a name, and there was a bunch of fiction associated with it.
I think I knew about it, but I never read it.
Yeah, I read it. It was terrible, but when you love something that much, that's what you do. I was obsessed. I got discs with wads on them. I love that game. Like, Quake, when that came out, I played that for a hot minute and threw that out and then started playing Doom again. So as much as I want Doom 2016 to be in the best games period, I want it to touch the Hollowed Halls, but my gut is telling me Doom 1993, and if you asked me yesterday, I would have been telling you Doom 2016.
Because I'm very convincing.
Yes, because you're very convincing, Daniel. Because you're very convincing. And it's just, like, I have so much love and so much good memories associated with it, and it's influenced so much. I would be a jabroni, and that's the third time I've said that.
You like that word?
I do like that word. It's a good word. It's a fun word to block it from being entered. But I would put a caveat that I want to argue to get 2016 in there in the next couple of years.
All right. That sounds good, because I'm voting for 93 as well.
I knew you were. You.
I'm sorry, 2016.
It's okay, 2016, Doom.
But we will see where the fans fall on this. Listeners.
Is it going to be up on the Facebook, the tweeters,
It will be on Twitter.
Yes.
And we will post it in the Overblood group on Facebook. The unofficial Game Informer fan group on Facebook. It's a good place to post it. We can't post polls from our Facebook page, the Best Games Period page. Very annoying to me.
That's very strange.
Like
That's stupid Facebook.
I don't know why I can't post a poll from that page.
I'm going to go poll as Zuckerberg.
What maybe I can do is one of those stupid polls, those Facebook things where they say, like, smile to, like, sad react for Doom 2016 and angry.
Wait. No. You can't have a sad face for Doom 2016. Sad panda for Doom 2016.
Heart for 2016 and angry face for 93.
Do you know what? Actually, that'd be kind of fine. I'm okay with that.
All right, we can start doing that. Actually, I just thought of that.
That's actually really good.
I'll just do those kind of things.
I hope somebody puts a bunch of clown emojis in there, and then we're like, "What the hell is this, Blake Stone?"
So we will start doing polls from the Best Games Period Facebook page, because I literally just realized that I could do it that way. So thanks for that, Joe.
You're welcome.
But if you don't follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/bestgamesperiod. And also you can find the show every Monday on community.extra-life.org.
Daniel?
Game Informer. Hold on, let me run off all this and then we'll talk about Extra Life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Game Informer, Twitter @bestgamesperiod, Libsyn, our hosting site. I said Facebook.
Yep, you said Facebook.
iTunes.
Rate and
under
review.
Best Games Period. And SoundCloud. You can also support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/bestgamesperiod. $1 a month gets you bonus content. That's really all it requires, is $1 or more per month to get some extra content that we will throw in there. And I think some of our discussions from this episode might make it into some bonus content.
Ooh.
But anyway, Extra Life, Joe.
Yes, Daniel. Yes, tell me all about Extra Life.
Extra Life is a gaming charity for that benefits the Children's Miracle Network charity of hospital charity. I butchered that.
It's okay.
But
It's okay.
It's once a year. Everybody gets together in the gaming world and raises money for Extra Life. But you can raise money for Extra Life throughout the year. It does not have to be on Extra Life Day, which is what this year?
November, I don't have it in front of me.
I want to say 4th?
I want to say you're right. We're going to look. Yep.
I nailed it. November 4th, 2017 is the big Extra Life Marathon Day. Joe and I are planning on doing some streaming that day, right, Joe?
Yes, November 4th.
I think we were going to play some Dead Space.
Yeah, I'm really feeling Dead Space.
Tribute to Visceral Games.
R.I.P.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah, so join Extra Life if you haven't, and either support a team or join a team, or just raise some money for your local Children's Miracle Network hospital. I raise money for the local Children's Miracle Network in Hartford, and you could raise it for Hartford as well if you want to, or anybody nearby that you would like to donate to. Anybody you know, you can donate to them. And their Extra Life page is all up to you. All of it goes to the kids, and that's all that matters. Speaking of kids, Joe.
Yeah, Daniel.
I've known you since we were kids. That's why I said.
That's why it's for the kid. I was be like, "Are you about to tell me something?" By the way, this is your new kid.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Pleasure is all mine.
It really was fun. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Hey, I've been looking forward to this, man. It was
me too.
It was fun. Glad to be here.
We'll definitely have to do it again.
Absolutely.
And thank you, good listeners, for joining us for this episode of the Best Games Period. All right. Till next time, everybody. See you all on the flip.
Whoo!